am prepared for this. We may never meet again. P.S. Stop speaking ill of Mary. Do you understand? You drove Mom to the edge. It's your fault. Give her back. I'm tired of being questioned by my brother-in-law Andrew for baseless reasons. Just so you know, it's your fault for trying to deceive repeatedly. I have no hesitation in fighting back against liars. Get ready to cry when I hit you with that "it's your fault" boomerang right in the face. My name is Mary. I'm 43, living with my husband, and we don't have any children. Even though we live together, my husband Nicholas is only in the United States for half of the year. That's because he travels the world as a photographer. He doesn't come home for long periods, so it's a bit lonely, but I don't dislike the time waiting for him. The doorbell rang. Mary, it's me. Yes, Miranda, I'm opening the door now. I brought some cookies to share. Your favorite, Mary. Thank you very much. Since my father-in-law passed away last year, my mother-in-law Miranda has started visiting my house. 2 or 3 times a week, she asks if it's okay to come over. She says it's boring being alone at home. People say it's rare for a daughter-in-law and mother-in-law to get along well, but we visit each other's homes, go shopping, and travel together. I don't see it as a daughter-in-law's duty. I do it because I like Miranda and we get along. Miranda is kind and wonderful, but she has a bit of a scatterbrain. It's become more noticeable since she started living alone. She gets lost in thought and repeats the same stories. She's still in her 60s, too early for dementia. To let Nicholas work without worries, I want to support Miranda. In reality, Andrew and his wife Samantha should be looking after Miranda. I won't say that out loud, though. Andrew is quite a character. Samantha is no better. When those two are together, just talking to them drains my physical and mental energy. They're old enough to know better but are still self-centered and reckless. We don't get along at all. So, Miranda relies on me instead of those two. As I was making coffee, the doorbell rang again. Who could it be? It's me. Is Mom here? Miranda? Hearing Andrew and Samantha's voices made me frown, and Miranda did the same. Showing up unannounced is quite rude these days. Miranda, what should we do? Miranda sighed and said, It seems they need something from me, so it can't be helped. I suppose not. I opened the front door. Hi, Mary. Hi, they said, boldly entering the house without waiting for an invitation. I hadn't said anything yet. Mom, why aren't you at home? Because I don't want to see you too. Hey, that's harsh to say to your son. Coming all the way to Mary's house. We're in a hurry, you know. Miranda looked fed up. I've told you many times, I don't have any money to lend you. Please, Mom. I'm begging you. While saying that, he ate my cookies. That's not something you say while eating cookies, is it? I can't understand the nerve of someone eating other people's cookies, especially my favorite, without asking. Seeing that, Samantha asked, Mary, where's mine? There isn't any. Really? I wanted some. Why would she think there is any left? Andrew! Enough is enough! Miranda said clearly. Every time you see my face, you ask for money. What do you think I am? What? You're my mom. You idiot, that's not the point. They both said with discontented faces. But Dad left us a lot of money when he died, didn't he? What? No. You're lying. You've given Nicholas a lot, haven't you? Yeah, that's right. What are you talking about? Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to go abroad all the time. It's not fair, just Nicholas. It's work, not a vacation. Saying it's unfair, that's just not right. When he gets a job, he has to go, no matter how long it takes or how dangerous the place is. It's not always fun, you know, I said in an angry tone. By the way, where is he now? He didn't seem to care at all. He's spending about a month taking pictures of the northern lights. Wow! That's amazing! It's minus 30 degrees in the freezing cold, and it's not a tourist spot, it's the suburbs, so it's not always fun. It's unfair that he just goes abroad and takes pictures. I couldn't believe it. What is this? Nicholas is working so hard. These people, who waste money on eating out and entertainment and then beg Miranda for allowance, have no right to say that. I'm not going to lend you any money. I don't even have it on hand. You're so stingy. Yes, I'm stingy. I'll come back and ask you again and again until you lend me the money. Stop it! It's embarrassing! Seeing Miranda's stubborn attitude, they seemed to give up. You can come if you don't talk about money. But I won't be here on Monday. I'm going on a trip with a friend. We're not coming. You're such ungrateful sons. It's always Nicholas and Mary who get everything. It's not fair. They left while saying it's not fair, over and over again. I don't understand what they mean by unfair. We just don't get along. I'm sorry, Mary. Those people, their mind thinks differently. Yes, indeed. But from Miranda's perspective, they're her sons, so she might not be able to be too harsh. I find it hard to deal with them, but as I looked sadly at the cookies they had left scattered, Miranda apologized again, and I told her it wasn't her fault. Can't something be done about those two? 3 days later, as usual, Miranda is visiting. Tomorrow is the day of her trip. Miranda, who used to love going out with her husband, stopped going far after being alone. I thought she should travel while she's still healthy, so I encouraged her. There's still a long life ahead, and she should enjoy it. Mary, what souvenir would you like? When it comes to travel, chocolate is always a good choice. Got it. Where are you staying? Oh, didn't I tell you? It's just a day trip. Oh, I see. At that moment, Miranda's smartphone rang. Oh, who could it be? The screen displayed the name Andrew. Andrew. I quickly turned on the speaker function. I felt bad for eavesdropping, but I had a bad feeling. Mom, it's me. What's wrong? I embezzled money from the company. Please, I promise I'll pay it back. Can you lend it to me? We froze. Is this a scam? Mom, are you listening? Please lend me the money. Miranda, feeling uneasy, confirmed on the phone. Who are you? Huh? It's me. It's Andrew. Since he gave his name, it seemed he was the real one. Please, Mom, I'll be fired if you don't help me. Why did you use the company's money without permission? I'm sorry, I was wrong. I know. He is a truck driver, spending most of his working hours alone, even managing his work hours inside the truck. In other words, he never even sees the company's money. How could he use it? Just because he can't borrow money, this way isn't right. Who would fall for such an obvious scam call? I thought. Trouble, what should we do? Said a restless Miranda. Could she actually believe it? The reason someone falls for a scam that should be obviously suspicious must be because it preys on their concern for their family. What a sneaky tactic. I told the panicking Miranda. Miranda. Calm down, it's a scam. It's a family prank. You almost ruined it. Andrew, it's the lowest to deceive people. If I ask to borrow money and you don't lend it to me, I have no choice but to do this. Miranda seemed relieved. Then she got angry. Andrew, stop making a fool of people. Mom, just lend me the money. Even if you were to use the borrowed money for living expenses, it's actually for gambling, isn't it? I'll increase it by gambling. Don't go gambling. Then lend me enough so I don't have to go. What an absurd argument. I'm getting angry just listening. You don't even intend to pay it back. Because it'll be my money anyway, right? Andrew. That's only after I'm gone. Well, I really can't trust you about money. That's why I didn't give you the house keys. She was shaking with anger. It's painful to listen. Huh? Who has the house keys? Mary does. The daughter-in-law? How dare you say that? She's more reliable than you. What? Anyway, I won't be here much longer, just as you wished. Miranda spat out. I can't stay silent anymore. Andrew, that's too much. There are things you can and can't say. Stay out of this, stranger. Do you understand how Miranda feels? Don't talk as if you know. Put Mom on. I'll take it from here. Goodbye. The call ended. What a troublesome son. Miranda tried to smile, but she couldn't hide her shock. If we talk directly, it always ends in a fight. I want to help, but I feel it will only make things worse if I step in. Miranda, how about sending a message? You can both calm down. Maybe I'll try that. Miranda started to send a message. The next day, Miranda went on her day trip as planned. Worried about yesterday, I didn't want Miranda to be alone. If you're tired, stop by my place on the way back. I'll have dinner ready. I sent a message, and instead of a reply, she sent me real-time photos from the bus and tourist spots. She looked very happy, huddled with her friends. I hope the trip will help her refresh. It seems my wish came true. Miranda came back looking happy. I'm glad I went. I was relieved to see her spirits lifted. She shared stories while showing me the pictures she took. We walked along the river before going to a winery. That sounds wonderful. It was fun but exhausting, even for a day trip. Nicholas travels the world, and it's impressive. You're right. Let's have some chocolate together. I'd like some coffee to go with it. Got it. While I was preparing coffee in the kitchen, my smartphone rang. What? There's only one person who could make me say that, Andrew. What does he want? Hello? It's all your fault. What? Andrew yelled loudly over the phone. My ears are ringing. Because of you, Mom. Mom. Murderer. Samantha rants from behind. Wait, what are you talking about? Mom is dead. You drove her to it. What? You don't know, do you? I'll tell you. Yesterday, Mom sent a message. If things continue like this, I will have to make up my mind. We may never see each other again. P.S. Stop saying bad things about Mary. Do you get it? Mom died because of you. What? I have no idea how they came to that conclusion. It's a short message like something an older person might send, but anyone involved in yesterday's exchange should understand. Miranda is at home. That's impossible. Don't try to fool me. Now that Mom is on vacation, this is our chance. I mean, there's no time. Hand over the house key right now. The key? For the funeral preparations. I got it. They want to frame me and get into the house while Miranda is away on vacation. But it's only a day trip. They wouldn't think she's home both yesterday and today. I despise him from the bottom of my heart. Scamming for money, pretending his mother is dead. It's not just about being loose in the head. He's missing the essential parts. Something fundamentally necessary as a person. He can't even imagine how angry and sad Miranda and I would be. Unforgivable. Andrew, could you come over? I have something to confirm. All right, I'll be there right away. Have the key ready. I ask Miranda, relaxing in the living room, to go buy some coffee milk and sent her out of the house. Andrew and Samantha showed up triumphantly. Hi, Mary. Hi. They're way too casual. According to their story, Miranda is supposed to be dead. Their cover is so sloppy. Now, hand over the house key. I wipe my eyes with a handkerchief. What? What's wrong? I can't believe Miranda is gone. The two looked puzzled. They need to remember their act. Oh, right. Yes, very sad. They panic. Their acting is terrible. It's your fault. Yes, you have no right to cry. Now they remember their story. That I drove Miranda to her death. I calmly take out my smartphone. Here's a photo Miranda sent me today. A picture of her smiling with friends. It looks like it was taken at a winery. The two were shocked and said, "Where is this?" I say with a distant look, "Where could it be?" "It's beautiful, isn't it?" They gasp. "Heaven, maybe?" "Oh no! Mom, she has no legs." Her legs are just hidden by something. I show them another picture. Miranda smiling by a river. She looks a bit tired, probably from a walk. I murmur, "Seeing her like this, she seems to have unfinished business." "Where is this? Heaven? Oh no! Stop joking, Mom is on vacation, right?" "What did you say?" "No, it's, Andrew, this isn't my fault. I did nothing wrong, don't doubt me." They look back and forth between me and the photos, panicking, not knowing what's real. Their made-up story is coming true, and they're scared. "Hey, let's stop this already." "Shut up, we can't back out now." I look at them with disdain. This nonsense needs to end. It's time they admit their lies and apologize. I think this will clear things up. These are from Miranda. Please, help yourselves. I open a box of chocolates she brought back as a souvenir. I thought they would finally realize it, but it was no use. Is it possible that the funeral has already happened? We weren't even invited. Miranda must be really mad at us. How did they come to that conclusion? Look carefully. Are they so terrified that they've lost all sense of judgment? Their faces were pale with despair. Tears welled up in their eyes. "Mom, is she really gone?" "Calm down, for goodness sake." "Wait, who was at fault again?" "It was you." Just as I was about to reveal the truth, the doorbell rang. It was Nicholas. "I'm back." "Surprise!" "What are you doing here?" "I thought you weren't supposed to return yet." "The filming wrapped up early." "Andrew? What's going on with you?" Nicholas looked surprised at the sight of his brother and sister-in-law wiping away tears. "What happened?" "Nicholas, Mom. Mom is..." "Oh, Mom? I just passed by her a moment ago." "What?" "But listen to this, I slipped on a snowy mountain and almost got frozen." The two looked even more horrified. "Nicholas, are you sure you just slipped?" "Yeah, I hit my head and almost passed out. So, you really did see Mom? Yeah. You're not supposed to be back yet, right? No, the job's done. Are you even aware of what's happening to you? Oh my God! Nicholas said with a laugh. What are you talking about? Andrew, you're acting weird. It's so beautiful and surreal, you should go see it too. What? The aurora. It looks like angels descending from the sky. Is the afterlife calling? We're not ready for that, thanks. The two denied it with cold sweat dripping down their faces. Hey, we're leaving. I've been feeling a chill, and I don't want to stay here. A chill? Yeah. I have a bad feeling about this. Isn't it just your imagination? Andrew, you weren't this sensitive before, were you? Nicholas tried to stop them. Come on, you should stay for a while. It's a rare chance. I'm sure Mom will be here soon. The two gasped audibly. Mom? Coming here soon? Yeah. She said she'd be here soon, so wait for her. They screamed and ran out of the house. However, they bumped into Miranda, who was just returning home, and they screamed again. What on earth? Why are you screaming at the sight of me? Mom, weren't you supposed to be on a trip? Tell me it's true. What? That's long over. No way. Is this a joke? It was short but wonderful. It felt like I was floating in heaven. Wait. Wait, please. I promise I'll change my ways. Just don't leave us, Mom. Miranda was shocked to see her son crying with a distorted face. That's good to hear. But what on earth happened? Samantha was also crying in fear. Nicholas was bewildered and couldn't grasp the situation. But explanations would come later. Andrew, you said you'd change your ways, right? No more asking for money, okay? I'll stop. I promise. I was glad to hear those words. He must have realized that what he said was no joke. What's going on? I have no idea. Right, I'll explain. My husband has come back after a long time, and I want to hear about the aurora. Since it's going to be a long talk, I'll make some coffee. I'm relieved because we have plenty of chocolate. After that, Andrew, who said he felt a chill, developed a fever. It's not surprising, given how much cold sweat he was in. It might be a stress-induced fever. However, Samantha and Andrew have become weak and are talking about curses and bad luck. They are quite superstitious people. Well, to put it nicely, they are straightforward. If only they could reflect on their actions and live sincerely, they would be good people. I hope they will become like that. For now, I don't intend to forgive Andrew, and even if he reflects, it won't erase what he did. No matter how much time passes, he and I will never get along. But for Miranda, her son will always be her son, no matter how old he is. He's like a troublemaker who never grew up. They say the more troublesome a child is, the more lovable they are, and just like before, she'll probably forgive him over and over again. But when Miranda heard everything, she went mad with rage. Fraud and attempted theft, anyone would be furious. At your age, don't you know right from wrong? You idiot. Sorry. It's surprising that instead of complaining, he just apologized honestly. I'm still full of energy. Of course. Please stay energetic forever. Even though we don't get along, we feel the same about that. Nicholas will soon be leaving for another overseas work trip. He tells me not to worry about the family because I can handle it. It's a mix of happiness and complexity for me. I'll take care of talking with Miranda and keeping an eye on Andrew, so don't worry and have a good trip. You sure have enough money in your account? Even though she could easily check, Agatha assumed from my appearance that I was short on cash. Are you really sure you're okay? There's no need to put on airs if you can't afford it, you know. In all my time coming to this bank, I've never been treated like this before. That's enough. Banks are supposed to hold money for everyone from children to the elderly. How can you justify this kind of behavior? Wow. For someone with such a childish appearance, you sure know how to lecture someone. How cute. But you're actually broke, aren't you? I'm telling you not to push yourself. I'm used to being looked down upon because of my appearance, so I don't usually get angry over things like that. But this time was different. Not only was I treated horribly last time, but today I was made to wait for a whole 5 hours. If this is the result, I've reached my limit. I'm going to make them suffer a little for this. I'm Wendy, 55 years old. I run an apparel company. When I say apparel, it's a bit of a unique company that mainly sells universally designed clothing. Universal design, to put it simply, is a design that can be used by many people regardless of age or disability. For example, scissors that can be used easily by both right-handed and left-handed people, or the raised bumps on the side of a shampoo bottle. Awareness is still low, but recently, as we enter an era of diversity, recognition is gradually increasing. The reason I started this company is actually because I have personal experience struggling with being short, prone to weight gain, and having difficulty moving my fingers due to a genetic condition. When I was in elementary school, this made it hard for me to make friends, and there were times I couldn't even go to school. Back then, there wasn't even a word for school refusal, and my teachers just thought I was being lazy. But my parents understood how I felt and amazingly let me study abroad. They researched how the Nordic countries have well-developed welfare systems, and I decided to move there with my mother. After moving, there was of course the language barrier to deal with, but I no longer had to worry about interpersonal relationships and was able to have all sorts of experiences. My parents' support, teachings, and the experience of studying abroad are still my treasures today. I now run a Nordic American company, but I also set up a branch in the US a few years ago. These days I split my time between the Nordic countries and the US. When setting up the branch, I thought it would be good to also open a business account in the US, but I had trouble deciding which bank to use. So I consulted with my father, Ladarius, and decided to go with Starlight Bank. Ladarius was acquainted with the branch manager at the time, so they took good care of him. Hearing that, I decided to go with them too. The manager at the time, Harmon, was a really wonderful person who taught me all sorts of things, as I recall. This time, we're establishing another overseas branch, and I thought I'd go to ask for advice on how to transfer a large sum of money to that country. I figured the branch manager would surely have some good ideas. And yet, I was about to have a terrible experience. Thinking that showing up suddenly would inconvenience him, I decided to make an appointment by phone. Thank you for your continued patronage. This is Agatha from Starlight Bank. When Agatha answered the phone, I told her I wanted to meet with Harmon. Then Agatha started speaking with a half-laugh. How many years ago are you talking about? That person is the previous one. For a bank employee I'm speaking to for the first time, what a rude way of talking. Well then, if that's the case, I'd like to visit to greet the new person in charge as well, so could you put me through the manager? When I asked that, she answered again with a half-laugh. There's no way the branch manager would meet with someone they hardly know. You should be able to figure that out if you think about it a little. And without fully listening to what I had to say, she just kept telling me to come during business hours if I wanted to discuss something. Thinking this was going nowhere, I told her I understood, half resigned. It was just over the phone, so I couldn't really tell, but there was a malicious air that I hadn't felt when I opened the business account. In the first place, it's strange for the bank itself to let an employee handle calls like that. With those doubts in mind, I decided to go to Starlight Bank the next day. The accounting manager who has authority over the account said they would go, but I decided to go myself because I wanted to see what the atmosphere was like. The next day, I arrived at the bank and looked for Agatha. I only needed to greet Harmon and discuss things, so it didn't have to be Agatha, but I really wanted to confirm her face. Little did I know this would be the first step into hell. "Excuse me, my name is Wendy. Is Agatha here?" I spoke with her on the phone yesterday, but when I told this to the employee who greeted me, they went to call Agatha. I followed them with my eyes. As the employee approached someone who seemed to be Agatha, Agatha looked in my direction. Then in an instant, she got an expression as if she had found prey. "Ms. Wendy, thank you for waiting. What can I assist you with today?" After speaking a bit politely, Agatha made a startled face. Then, with a smirk, she started talking in a different tone. "What brings you here today? Did you come with your daddy or mommy?" She clearly changed the way she spoke after seeing my appearance. When I, being less than 55 inches tall, walk down the street, I sometimes get treated like that, so I'm used to it. So without really minding, I started to speak. "As I mentioned on the phone yesterday, my name is Wendy. I'd like to greet the new manager since he's changed, and I also wanted to consult about making an overseas transfer from the business account." Since I'm talking about an overseas transfer from a business account, they should be able to tell that I'm at least a working adult. Plus, even though I'm short, I have the face of someone who's experienced a fair bit in life. There's no way they could seriously think I'm a child. And yet Agatha didn't change the way she spoke. "Is your dad the company president? You sure know about difficult things like transferring money from a business account." She continued talking in a condescending way the whole time. I wonder if you can understand. Harmon said he's out doing sales calls today, so he's working outside and not here. He'll be here tomorrow, so can you come back then? Next time bring your dad or mom with you, okay? Excuse me, I'm already old enough to be called ma'am, so how long are you going to keep talking to me like that? Thinking it was quite rude, I gently told her my age range. Oh my. I'm so very sorry about that. I thought you were a child. Anyway, Harmon is out today, so could you please come back tomorrow? Thinking that staying here any longer would only upset me, I just told her I'd come again tomorrow and tried to leave the bank. Of course I thought this treatment was unacceptable, but with all the much harder things I've experienced in my life so far, this level of thing doesn't faze me at all. Anyway, it seems Harmon will be here tomorrow, so I left the bank thinking I'll discuss and decide various things then. The next day, when I arrived at the bank, Agatha was talking loudly with a colleague. "I wonder if that small robot cat is coming today." A robot cat? I wondered if there was some kind of event going on, but quickly realized they were talking about me. I'm short, stocky, and my fingers don't move very well, so my hands are always slightly curled. I was amazed at how terrible they were making fun of my appearance. Then she noticed me and approached with a smirk. "Ms. Wendy, you're waiting for Harmon, right?" "I'm very sorry, but Harmon is currently in a meeting and it looks like it's going to take a while. Will you wait?" I have time today, so I decided to wait. I see. About how long do you think it will take? For some reason, this question seemed to put Agatha in a bad mood, and she switched back to the same way of talking as yesterday. "Hey, have you ever had a job? There's no way to know what time a meeting will end. Maybe it's too hard for a kid to understand. Just wait here quietly until you're called." Spitting out those words, Agatha went back behind the counter. I wondered if yesterday was just an illusion, and regretted coming here a little. If I had asked the accounting manager, this probably wouldn't have happened. But I really wanted to greet Harmon directly, so it couldn't be helped. I waited with those thoughts in mind. However, no matter how long I waited, there was no sign of being called. From time to time, Agatha would glance at me and laugh, which was also bothering me. Every hour, I would try asking someone else, but perhaps out of deference to Agatha, they would say they'd ask her and then just repeat, "Please wait a little longer." Having waited this long, I became stubborn and decided to wait until the very end. However, after 5 hours had passed, I thought it was a waste of time to wait any longer and went to talk to Agatha. "Agatha, I've been waiting for 5 hours now. About how much longer will it be?" "Huh? You've got plenty of time, don't you? Wait a little longer. You're the one who said you'd wait." Ah, I knew it. This person has no manners as a bank employee or even as a working adult. I'm getting sick of keeping my business funds in a bank that employs people like this. "I'm sorry. I can't continue my relationship with Starlight Bank any longer, so please close my account." "Huh? That's fine, but do you even have any money in the account?" Even though she could easily check, she apparently assumed from my appearance that I had no money. "Are you sure you're okay? You don't need to put on airs if you can't afford it. I've been to various banks, but this is the first time in my life I've been treated like this at a bank." "That's enough. Banks are supposed to hold money for all sorts of people, from children to the elderly. And yet, this kind of response is allowed? Huh? For someone with such a childish appearance, you sure know how to lecture people. How cute. But you don't actually have any money, right? I'm telling you not to push yourself. I'm used to people looking down on me because of my appearance, so that kind of thing doesn't make me angry. But this time is different. Not only was I treated horribly last time, but today I was made to wait for 5 hours. If this is the result, I've reached my limit. I'm going to make them suffer a little for this. I made up my mind. I was so angry that I didn't even greet Harmon and immediately went home to call our accounting manager. I was worried it might be difficult to do in one day, but surprisingly, it went smoothly. I'm relieved that I'll never have to go to that bank again. I was so irritated yesterday that I couldn't sleep well, but tonight I should be able to sleep soundly and comfortably. With that thought, I got into bed. I must have been in a really good mood because I unusually overslept. When I woke up, it was already past 10 o'clock. I hurriedly got dressed and started getting ready to head to the office. Then I heard an unpleasant buzzing sound coming from the living room. Wondering what it could be, I went towards the sound and found that my smartphone had been ringing non-stop. When I sleep, I focus solely on sleeping, so I don't bring my smartphone into the bedroom. That's why I hadn't noticed until just now. Still, there was an incredible number of missed calls. When I checked the number, it was from Starlight Bank. This is about yesterday, I realized instantly, but decided to ignore it for a while. As far as I was concerned, the matter was already settled. The buzzing sound was annoying in manner mode, so I switched it to silent mode. Still, the employees at my company are excellent. I had anticipated that the bank would call the company as soon as they noticed yesterday's incident. So I told my employees to forward everything to me, as I would handle this matter. That must be the reason for all these missed calls. Grateful to my employees for properly following my nonsensical instructions, I headed to the office. Up until a moment ago, my smartphone had only shown calls from the bank's landline, but now mobile numbers were showing up as well. Listening to the voicemail, I found out it was from Harmon, but I continued to ignore it. At the company, the accounting department manager was waiting for me. When I expressed my gratitude for yesterday's incident, he informed me that 2 employees named Harmon and Agatha were here. I can't believe they even came to the company. The accounting manager explained the situation to them, saying that I was fully booked today and couldn't meet with them, but apparently they said they would wait for however many hours it took. If that's the case, I briefly thought about making them wait for hours, but having them wait forever would be troublesome in its own way. I headed swiftly to the reception room. In the reception room, Agatha, who showed no signs of remorse, and Harmon, who looked restless, were sitting with a gloomy atmosphere.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Harmon, the branch manager of Starlight Bank. I deeply apologize for causing you distress, Ms. Wendy,
he said, bowing deeply. Agatha followed suit and reluctantly bowed her head. You mean yesterday's incident? We've already taken appropriate measures on our end, so there's no need for an apology. As for her, we have some thoughts on our side as well, but we'll notify you in writing later. Well then, let's leave it at that for today. As I said that and tried to stand up, Harmon started speaking rapidly, although stammering.
About the $10 million from yesterday. Is there any way you could reconsider?
Agatha listened to Harmon's words with a scornful attitude, as if ridiculing them. The $10 million. We'll be closing all transactions with your bank later, so we'll be withdrawing the remaining funds as well. Thank you for everything up until now.
Withdraw? That would be problematic.
Even if he says that, I have no intention whatsoever of doing business in the future with a bank that has such rude employees. My decision won't change. Well then, let's end this discussion here. My schedule is completely full today. I'm sorry, but please allow me to take my leave. As I said that and tried to stand up, Agatha said something amusing again. Harmon, what's the big deal? This company doesn't have much name recognition yet and will probably go under soon anyway. Lending money to a no-name company is actually a risk, you know? If we borrow my dad's influence, there's nothing to worry about, right? We're not even asking for a loan in the first place, but she doesn't seem to understand that and keeps acting all high and mighty. Next to her, Harmon is sweating profusely. I wondered why Harmon was being so timid with her. If member companies of the Chamber of Commerce use our bank, there won't be any problems. So it's fine. Let's just ignore this childish old lady. No matter how you look at her, she doesn't seem capable of doing her. This person is really good at dissing people based on their appearance. And I realized that Agatha's dad is the chairman of the Chamber of Commerce. I see, so that's why she can have this kind of attitude. Well, it seems we've reached an understanding, so with that. This is already the 3rd time I've declared the end of the meeting. And yet, there's still no sign of it actually ending. As I stood up to escort the 2 of them out, Harmon's phone rang. Harmon initially tried to ignore it, but it kept ringing persistently. Instead of leaving the room and taking the call outside, the branch manager signaled to me with his eyes, "Excuse me for a moment," and answered the phone.
Hello. This is Harmon. What's the matter? What did you say?
Harmon talked on the phone for a while, then sighed as he hung up and held his head in his hands. I instantly judged that this was going to take a while. Agatha, what kind of customer service did you really provide yesterday? Huh? There was this old lady who looked like a child, so I just kindly explained things to her as if she were a kid. What about it? Harmon let out a big sigh, took a breath, and then muttered in a desperately low voice. The number of account closures suddenly increased, and just today, 1/3 of our customers closed their accounts. It's because of you. What do you mean? Why is it my fault? Then Harmon showed me a social media site on his smartphone. Lo and behold, there was a video of my exchange with Agatha. Apparently, one of the customers who was there yesterday had recorded our exchange on video. It was uploaded to social media and is spreading at an incredible speed. Our faces and Agatha's name tag are blurred out, but I'm impressed by the true power of netizens. In no time at all, the branch name and her name were exposed. The comments even say that this bank is in trouble and to withdraw money quickly before it goes under. It seems people are mistakenly thinking the bank is going to fail and are rushing to withdraw their money. Yesterday, I transferred the $10 million in our business account. I thought that would deal a blow to this bank. In fact, I was satisfied with just moving the money and hadn't thought about doing anything more, but to think it would turn out like this. For better or worse, a punishment many times greater than I had imagined is now being inflicted on Agatha and the branch. Perhaps after being contacted by Agatha's dad, she looks at her smartphone in dread. How are you going to make up for this? This incident is already national news. I'm sorry, but I have to report it to headquarters too. I can't guarantee what will happen to you going forward.
No way! Let's sue the person who filmed this video for defamation. Then the customers will come back to us and it'll be fine.
Even after all this, she is still saying something airhead. It's true that since it was secretly filmed, we may be able to sue them legally. However, the fact that she made this kind of blunder is now an event that can no longer be hidden. As a bank, the fact that they let this go unchecked will likely become an issue as well. After all, in that video, there wasn't a single employee who made any move to stop her. Just then, the accounting department manager came over to me and whispered in my ear. Apparently, my father Ladarius had seen the video too. When I checked my smartphone, there were several missed calls from Ladarius. I had completely forgotten to turn off silent mode. I called Ladarius.
Wendy, what in the world is going on with that video? Insulting you like that is the thing I hate most.
Harmon is here, would you like to talk to him? When I asked that, Ladarius said he wanted to talk. I put the smartphone on speaker mode. Ladarius's anger was unrelenting. Harmon could do nothing but apologize profusely, and Agatha finally seemed to realize the gravity of the situation.
I'm sorry, Harmon, but I'm going to have to speak with your board of directors as well. This is equivalent to insulting my business.
When he said that, Agatha laughed a little.
Talk to the board of directors?
Are you sure that's okay? There's no way they'll talk to you. They're important people, after all. Just when I thought she was showing a little remorse, this response, she's truly a hopeless person.
Young lady, you don't seem to understand who I am yet. Not that I particularly want you to know, but do you recognize the name Business Trading Company Chairman?
When Ladarius said that, both Harmon and Agatha's expressions stiffened.
Business Trading Company.
That's right. He serves as the chairman of a fairly large company, even among American general trading companies. There are probably very few working adults who don't know Business Trading Company. Since I was born, my dad has also turned his attention to people with physical disabilities, constructing welfare facilities, learning support facilities for people with disabilities, barrier-free projects, and many other welfare initiatives. And he let me have all sorts of experiences as well. I may be at a disadvantage physically, but he made sure I acquired more than enough knowledge to be able to hold my own. Investing and running a company are a couple examples of that. That's why I had a considerable amount of money from a young age and have been able to run my own business without taking out loans from banks. Amidst all that, he seems to be extremely angry this time about his daughter being treated horribly because of her physical appearance. When I was young, Ladarius often got angry about these kinds of things, but now that I'm older and haven't had these experiences much lately, it's been a while since I heard Ladarius's angry voice. I'm 55 years old, geez, I thought, feeling a little embarrassed. Then I heard a quiet, sniffling voice. It was Agatha.
I am so sorry. When I was a kid, I was bullied for being short, and when I saw her, I was reminded of my old self and just... I'm truly sorry.
Saying that, she started crying. What a ridiculous reason. Agatha, you shouldn't do to others what you hate having done to you. Didn't your parents teach you that? Or were you taught to thoroughly inflict pain on others? When I said that, she burst into tears. In any case, I had accomplished what I wanted to do, so I told Harmon and Agatha that I'd rather not have them stay any longer and had them leave. I also told them that a lawyer would be in touch about further measures. The bank's CEO immediately held an apology press conference, which seemed to be effective in stopping customers who closed their accounts from leaving. However, Ladarius's anger could not be quelled, so he closed his account. This time it seems it was his personal account, not the company's, so the bank managed to avoid bankruptcy. Harmon was found to have neglected his guidance duties up until now and was transferred. He was apparently sent to an affiliated company in the countryside. Agatha was of course fired from the bank and is now unemployed. Plus, since I sued her for defamation, she's now preparing a settlement payment to resolve my lawsuit out of court. The video became national news and spread quite a bit, so it will probably be difficult for her to find a job for a while. As a result, Agatha's dad apparently had to resign as chairman of the Chamber of Commerce. As for me, I'm still living in two places as usual. And surprisingly, after that video spread, our clothes started selling even more. That video exposed my embarrassing side, but it seems to have served as advertising for my company to about the same degree. I never imagined it would get this much of a reaction, so needless to say I was surprised. And incredibly, a publisher who took an interest in my life story invited me to turn my life and my parents' lives into a book. Thinking my life could be useful to someone, I readily agreed. I'm currently in the process of writing it little by little. In this way, with the things my parents taught me and my own indomitable spirit, I intend to keep moving forward no matter what.